When?
Huh?
Welcome to Unscripted Gaming. Now, by the way, Mike.
Okay.
By the way, that is Mike.
I've just got one question.
Oh, hello, I'm Mike.
That is
starting. Like, do I have?
That is Josh.
Okay.
I am
5,
Ray.
4.
And,
Do I have time to run to the
3,
bathroom real quick? I
2.
need another.
hell no. Hell no.
1. We're keeping all of this in, by the way.
We are keeping it all
This
in.
is.
Yeah.
This is.
I've kept
what they
in
call
dumber.
a cold open.
I've kept in much stupider.
A cold open is what you know. That's how you do it.
A cold open is when we both like open. We all open and we're all just laughing for some innocuous reason. Like, capital job, Mike. Anyways, welcome to Unscripted Gaming. You know that sort of bullshit that people fake.
No, that's
Well,
called a
it's
silly
real.
start. There's a difference.
Oh, I apologize.
Oh, it's a
Anyways,
silly start.
I want to hit the ground running because it's Broketober. It's one of the last days of Broketober.
Seriously,
I bought
you.
Who
Who
2
calls
games.
it that?
You
No one
might,
calls
you
it
might
that.
have to.
No one says
take
that.
a second mortgage on your house
No.
to get all the games that are coming out right now.
A lot of people call it Broketober. And for the 2 games that came out yesterday, let's cover because everyone spent
Wait,
a little bit of money.
Well, clearly you're not investing responsibly
games.
into your 401g account. The G.
I'm sorry, 401g.
Shout out to my gamers. Where you at?
Oh wow!
Gamers,
wow.
what?
Where am I
Let me
gamers?
get wait. Back up.
Where am I gamers
Broketober is not allowed, but 401g for 401 gamers.
Well, yeah,
that's
it's
in
because
vogue.
401g is a real thing and Broketober isn't. So
How dare you?
your
Anyways, I bought
argument
2
is
games.
is hilariously invalid.
I think there are good arguments
Invalid.
on both sides.
I'll agree with that. Well done, Switzerland. Well done. I got Mario and Rabbids, or Mario XCOM as I've been calling it, and it is truly Mario XCOM. I'll cover that later. And I also bought Super Mario Odyssey, which is sitting right there on my coffee table. And the moment we're done here, I'm going to my Switch and I'm popping that in. And hey, Mike, you're next. According to my Discord, you're the next one in line. What did you buy?
I also purchased a copy of Super Mario Odyssey.
Wow!
He bought
Superman
Superman 64.
Yes, I bought 600 copies of Superman 64.
20 FPS on.
I
the
play
Switch.
one, and then I eat one, and then I play one, and then I eat one. It's very, very productive. But I've been playing some Super Mario Odyssey. I don't know if we're gonna launch into that for a little bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Ray?
think
Have you
he's covering
played?
the games
Let's go in line. Let's see what also Josh is playing after you're done.
Okay, so I've been playing some Super Mario Odyssey. I've been playing the PC version of Destiny 2. This Destiny 2, still a dumb name for a sequel to a game called Destiny. Like, just it's a dumb name, but that game is really fun. And I've also
ahead of
been something I didn't spend any money on, but I'm very much weirdly infatuated with HQ Trivia this week.
HQ Trivia. Okay.
It's incredible.
And then over
Josh, what are you
in
playing?
my world, I got The Evil Within 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus.
Yeah.
So between the 3 of us, we've covered 2 of the big 3 releases this last week, and several new releases in the last couple weeks and months.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about. Well, you guys
Okay.
start off with Super Mario.
So I'll just want to go Mario Odyssey? Or...
Let's do Mario.
Let's do Odyssey.
So I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play it here in a couple minutes or less than an hour, I hope.
What the fuck good are you then? Not.
I've actually been playing the last 16 hours into Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle or whatever it's called. And that is just, it's XCOM with a Mario skin. That's the best way to put it. And XCOM is hyper stressful, especially XCOM 2, which was, they found a way to even make it more stressful. But Mario plus Rabbids isn't stressful. It's just goofy and it's funny, and all your characters feel like they're purposely overpowered because in XCOM you get like a movement and you get an action, and sometimes you get a weapon attack. That's about it. Sometimes. In Mario, you always get a movement, you always get a weapon action, and you always get a specialty action. And your movement action can do damage if you want it to at the cost of nothing. Like,
Yeah, it's really cool like how they in like a turn based like strategy game, like how much movement and kind of quote unquote platforming they injected into like the DNA of it. I haven't gone and played too much more. I think I'm in like the final world.
Okay.
That game gets hard as shit, by the way. Just a heads up.
I keep hearing like the last world is just a serious like gut punch. Like, hey, it's fun. You're playing Mario and Peach and all these.
No, that last one slaps, man. It is not. It is no joke. But I really enjoyed that game. So fun.
I want to hear from you, Mike, because I've heard this from some people, and Ray, I want to see what you think as you get through it too. What do you think about how the combat kind of evolves over time throughout as you play the game? Like, I've heard from some that especially if you play it a lot straight through, the combat kind of gets a little samey. Like, they don't have quite enough to keep it super tactically interesting. Like, it just gets really hard. I didn't know if you felt that too. Maybe that was just, some people's opinion. I didn't know how you felt about that, or Ray, something you can keep an eye on as you progress through the game.
With the pacing, I like the combat. I mean, some of the levels are definitely tough, and it's some and kind of force you to change up your squads. Like eventually you run into enemies who are who like moves. Like your kind of Overwatch style, I'm going to shoot at someone who moves into my range of field. Like that make those kinds of characters less effective, so you want to kind of spec away from people who do that. But the thing that kind of bogs me down in the game is like the in-between battle, like puzzle solving. Like some of that stuff is okay.
That's just padding.
Like some of that's what it feels like. It's like it is okay, but it's like it just feels like it's at a certain point. It's like, okay, this is not super engaging. Like it's like I'm pushing blocks, yay. Like,
the ice desert world puzzle, there's a really long one where I'm like, I know what the solution is, it's just gonna take me 10 to 15 minutes to do it because they want me to do this.
That's the thing that kind of kills the pacing for me, is just like, man, I just want to play some Diet XCOM here. I don't want to play it and not optimize. That more than like the puzzle solving stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm not saying I don't like puzzle solving or changing a pace in games. It's just that like I really just want to play more of the core game, and then it keeps asking me to spend like 20 minutes doing some puzzle I don't want to do, and I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that's like, okay, I'm gonna put this down for a bit.
Yeah.
So what I've noticed so far, what I've noticed so far in the combat is that not that there's a lack of, not that it just all of a sudden starts getting harder. I haven't felt that yet. Because there are points in XCOM 2 particularly where the game just becomes unfair. Like the game is like, oh, you're just gonna lose people this mission. There's no way around it. The game is built around you can't win successfully.
You are going to die.
Yeah, because XCOM 2 will do these things where like, here's a timer. Here are 12 people that you have to rescue. You have to rescue at minimum 8 of them. By the way, there are 15 people on the map, and 3 of them are faceless, which are like these enemies that warp into people. But when you get close to them, they all of a sudden lose their warp. They become this giant monster that hit you for 3/4 of your health bar. You're gonna lose people. There's just no way around it. And you're on the timer. If you don't save them in time, you're on a timer of like 7 moves. If you don't save them in time, boom, mission over, restart. So you kind of just have to like, okay, I have some rookies in the background that I have to just train up. And, if you play the game in like Iron Man mode, whatever. Mario XCOM, which is what I'm just going to call it from now on, it's way more casual than that. Like if you lose somebody, you get like less points at the end of your score, which means you get less money to buy weapons. But deal, there's money all over the place.
I think that's what would make Mario Rabbids better is permadeath,
Oh my gosh, that game would get so dark if there was permadeath. Mario Rabbids keeps introducing things, like it keeps trickling down new characters to you, like in very, very small batches, and by the time you get a new character, you're like, come on, I think I have like the dream team. What's this new character gonna do? Then Rabbid Mario comes in and it's just thug life. He's like, what you want? Mario Rabbit is
See,
just like this.
are you saying that the Mushroom Kingdom should really just be sending, endless toad after toad to be ground up into Princess Peach's war machine?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I would actually kind of respect that if it did something like that, where if you had
No
like, the
blood
system
for
like this.
Koopa shells.
But the game is fun, and I can't stress how much I thought I'd hate Rabid Mario, and then I played him. I'm like, never mind. He's probably, until further notice, the best character in the game. Because he's a
Rabbid
paladin.
Mario messes shit up.
He's such a thug.
Peach is definitely the MVP though, because she has a ton of health, does healing, and also puts out ridiculous damage. So
But Peach is like this combination of Luigi, who was my favorite, because I always roll in the XCOM games with several snipers, because fuck you, Overwatch. There's just gonna be Can I want to stress, like, for 10 seconds how weird it is when you have characters that have the Mario characters with guns is weird. And the Mario characters with the Overwatch ability, when you like bounce the character, then they're in the air, then you see Luigi sniper shot people out of the sky.
Oh my god! Yeah. Stop! He's already dead. What are you doing? Oh my god!
He sniper shots them out of bounds and takes
motherfucker.
damage. The game it's so cathartic, but it's also like, wait, this is Mario. He's supposed to be happy-go-lucky.
Nah, bro.
Okay, I like it. Let's talk Mario.
If you'd like to talk about some happy-go-lucky Mario, I won't say. I'll be pretty general here because I know you're starting to play through it, Ray, and it's pretty new.
Itching to play.
Like it just came out, so I don't want to oh my god, I saw this and this ruined and this thing. But it's very much a successor to Mario N64 in that it's a 3D Mario where you're in worlds and poking around and doing stuff, but it just has all the I really like what that game is doing, because it has kind of a weird like quirk, like you're traveling around to these really different areas, like it really kind of fully embraces like the quirky, these like kind of weird ideas it has. I mean, because the main, as our audience may not know, the whole conceit is that like Mario can throw his hat at people and like somehow I'm gonna possess your body and like becomes
That's
them.
fucked up.
So
that.
Nintendo doesn't really just really takes that idea and runs with it and does some really awesome and hilarious things with it. The key thing is that like all of those things that you're able to do, I mean, are really, really kind of just keep everything so fresh. I mean, the core platforming is fun, but what really makes that game shine is just all the weird kind of like what is happening kind of wackiness around it.
That sounds great.
I haven't played too much of it. Like I'm not super far.
How far into it do you know?
How many hours have you dropped in?
I'm gonna say like maybe 3-4 something.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, it encourages exploration. It's I'm really enjoying it so far. It's real fun. And people
What was the other
who
game you said you
maybe I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of there's like this is people who bounced off of X Mario game would really like this. It's definitely not like any other Mario game, but in a really good way, not like a Super Mario Sunshine way.
I don't think Sunshine is that bad.
It's okay. It's fun.
It's okay. It's not Galaxy.
It's not Galaxy. Oh man, Galaxy's so. That game.
I mean, it's not the best.
Good.
It's not Super Mario World. That's all I'm saying. Well, I don't know if Odyssey is Super Mario World or not. It might be. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, Ray. I think you will very much enjoy it because it's quite fun.
Just for full disclosure, Galaxy is my favorite 3D Mario game, and Super Mario World is my favorite 2D Mario game.
Those are both very good choices.
I don't know if I told you guys. I think I wanted to mention it last week, but just real quick, I was able to get an SNES Classic sitting underneath my TV now. I don't want to tell you what I had to do to get it.
Bad things.
So, some people.
Okay,
aren't alive
question.
anymore.
Okay,
How much
we'll
did you pay?
just leave it at this. Is it more or less than what you would do for a Klondike bar?
Oh, significantly less.
Oh my!
You get me in the right mood, I will mess someone up for a Klondike bar. Have you had one, especially with the almond crunch, sir? Sir,
Did you pay above MSRP?
I did not.
Good.
Actually, it's a very innocuous story. A coworker ordered 2 of them because his wife had placed an order for one, and he placed an order for one, and they were the lucky ones that didn't get kicked out of the system. So they just had an extra one, and I bought it off of them. That's it. That's my story. It's really not that bad.
Okay, yeah, that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I got to play Star Fox 2. Finally, you would not believe what I've been wanting to do for years to play Star Fox 2, and it's
That
good.
game.
It had loot boxes the whole time. That's my
This is
favorite
truly the
episode of the
darkest
Twilight
timeline.
Zone.
It's Star Fox Command. It is the beta version of Star Fox Command.
Yeah,
That's my review for it.
I really did not. I knew about it, but I never, and I knew that the like hacks and stuff were out there from pre-release stuff and whatnot, but I never actually went and saw it out and looked it up. But when the SNES Classic came out, the Giant Bomb folks went through and played every single game, and I watched them play Star Fox 2, and I was blown away. Yeah, the game
for a
is-
Super Nintendo game, it is.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
It was super ambitious, and
Yeah.
while there was even for back then, a decent lack of content without
of
a lot of
course.
replayability, the things that in that game then went on to be in other Star Fox games,
Yeah.
like it.
Like charge lasers.
Yeah, you can just kind of go back and look at that game as the genesis for a lot of stuff that you thought got originated in other games.
It's Star Fox Command. If you've played Star Fox Command, you've kind of played Star Fox 2 in a lot of ways, really.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
you could beat it, and I kept hearing rumors you could beat it in like less than half an hour. And when I totally did, I was like, oh wow, you could just totally do that. That wasn't even hard. Like it's not hard. It's not a difficult game at all. There are, and the Chicken Walker is in it. And you know what's cool about the Chicken Walker?
Nothing.
Yes. But it feels like Macross, because you could transform to the Chicken Walker at any point in a planet level, and it feels like you're transforming into like the Robotech Macross version of just like a Gare Walker, and it feels cool. It looks ugly. It's ambitious for its time. Wait, Mike has his hand up. What's up, Mike?
Can I talk about Destiny 2 now?
Actually, yes. Go for it. Go for it.
Guys, let me tell you about Destiny 2.
Yeah.
I've been
I'm not
playing
buying it.
the PC version this week.
Yeah.
And it's more Destiny.
That
it
sounds
is-
so goddamn disappointing.
It's not funny. That's kind of the main thing is that if you didn't like Destiny 1 as it was in its like Taken King, Wrath of the whatever the fuck the last expansion was called, Rise of Iron, or no, I can't remember the last one. See, Felix likes
Sorry,
it.
my dog. Felix likes Destiny too.
It's very much like they did not so radically reinvent the wheel that it's a completely different game. It's still very much Destiny. But it has a lot of refinements that I really appreciate. It's kind of what I think. It kind of reminds you of the difference between like Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, where Dark Souls 1 is, kind of clunky. Has some weird kind of esoteric mystery elements to it that are ultimately really engaging, but I think are kind of unwelcoming in a certain way. And in Destiny 2 and Dark Souls 3, it streamlines a lot of that stuff. So where to do public events to get experience and like find complete quests and stuff, like in Destiny 1, normally you had to like go to sketchy websites and at approximately 12:57 Eastern, I think this satellite's going to crash on the moon. I know I have to be there, but this website's like 10 minutes off, so I only have to be there at like 11:25 or whatever. And except now in Destiny 2, it's just like, oh, there's going to be a public event here in 2 minutes. And so there's like, it kind of walks the balance of, not having, maybe being less mysterious about some of that stuff, which I think some people might be like frustrating for some people, but I think 99% of the time for me, I really appreciate just being able to see like, okay, cool mission coming up that I want to do. Okay, great.
Does that take some of the magic out of it? Like, I haven't played Destiny 2. I've decided, like, I'm just not going to play that game.
I mean, I guess, like, it's just, like, it might, but for me, like, just having the convenience makes it so much more worth it for me. And I think it just makes it a lot more approachable and just makes it doesn't feel like I'm ever, like, I can always be doing something, like, quote-unquote productive. It doesn't feel like I'm just like wasting my time trying to trigger some right event. Like I can always just like look it up on the map and see when it's going to come. And certainly like the main narrative is much more focused. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and not exactly reinventing narrative storytelling as we know it. I mean. We all knew Destiny 2 was going to try, but I mean, but that is much more. This game has actual narrative. Destiny 1 had a lot of lore, but just completely messed up any sort of coherent narrative. And Destiny 2 has set that much better.
Question.
Yes, Raymond.
Ray's just fine. Do I still have to go to Bungie.net and look at those goddamn grimoire cards?
It's in the game.
Yay!
So when you go onto an item, you just press E and like the lore tab pops up and you can just read it there.
They have solved something that has been fixed for the last 20 years of video gaming. Well,
yes.
Good job, Bungie.
Exactly. So it's and I mean it's still like kind of the weird deep cut lore-y stuff. And they worked a little bit, and they're working a little bit more of that into the main story, which is cool. Let's see, just kind of closing notes. I mean, the PC, because I've jumped from Destiny 1 on my PlayStation to the PC version. PC version, like Destiny at 60 frames a second, looks and feels so darn good. Like the multiplayer, I didn't really play a lot of Destiny 1 multiplayer, but it feels so much better in Destiny 2. Just having the extra like frames and stuff. And generally it's like,
how do you like the multiplayer? Because I personally hated Destiny's multiplayer.
I mean,
how do you like Destiny 2's multiplayer?
I mean, because I've done like a couple competitive matches and I wasn't too wild about that. But I mean, just like the regular like Crucible is like, I think it's just fun. Like I'm not too enthusiastic about it, but I'll probably play more of it in Destiny 2 than I ever did in 1.
Do they still have that thing in Destiny 2? So Destiny 1 has certain legendary weapons where you had to play multiplayer and do well in multiplayer to unlock the legendary weapon. Does Destiny 2 have that? Because
it has some kind of like milestones, like play 2 matches. So okay, I don't think I haven't seen anything that's like place, top 500 MMR for 1 month consistently to get the first check mark of this 10-step quest. I haven't seen anything bonkers.
You say that like it's a joke.
No, yeah. Some of the
Destiny 1 had bullshit weapons.
Yeah, because it's like that's some kind of the stuff. That's kind of the whole thing is like, you might not like, it's the whole kind of the philosophy of it comes down to like whether or not, okay, so there was this gun in Destiny 1 called the Sleeper Simulant. It's some crazy ass laser beam thing that was real freaking cool, but good God, it was such a pain in the ass to get because you're like having to solve like computer puzzles in your menu, and like it's something you would never ever figure out on your own. And it's cool that they built that mystery in, but I really appreciate in Destiny 2, at least so far, just being able to kind of put that together like myself and not having to like read wiki pages. I'm like, I just want the cool gun because it feels fun to shoot. I just want to get there. I will say, like, just to wrap up technically, most of the performance is pretty solid, but big butt, very large bottom.
Everyone loves big butts.
Yes. Because I am having some crazy ass memory leak thing. And it is fucking wild. Cause
do you have some
so
footage of that?
when I load in, it'll be like 60 frames, gorgeous, looks great, smooth as butter. Wonderful. As I play, it's like 60, 50, 58, 55, and it kind of wheels down to 50. Well, it says it's 50. I'm pretty sure it's actually like legit 15 if you just keep going. Like there's something wild going on in there. And I checked I have all the right drivers. I checked like make sure there wasn't like running 5 copies of it or something. And then if you quit when you get to like slideshow mode, as I call it, it's turn-based Destiny.
Turn-based Destiny. All right.
When it gets and it's really bad. Like and when it's really bad and then you just quit and then come right back in, then it's gorgeous again. It's just perfect. Like nothing ever happened. So
that's odd.
There is some Bungie is aware of the issue and is looking into it. There is some speculation.
It GPU related or something?
Huh?
Is it GPU related or something?
I don't really know. There is some speculation that it has something to do with the clan system, because people have reported. Because I'm part of a clan, and being in part of a clan like gets you bonuses and stuff, which is cool because like you can just log in and like, oh cool, my clan like did the Nightfall, so I get some Nightfall bonuses. Sweet, good job guys. Woo.
Yeah.
But some people have realized that like if they are associated to the game, to their clan in game, if they've like connected that, then it if they leave their clan, then the issue is fixed. It's not.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happens. I don't think it's like. I don't think it's a. I think it's a. It's a like a what? It's not. What's the thing? It's not a fuck. It's like I think it's like a you're like, it's some kind of Venn diagram. People having memory leak issue and people leaving their clan. Like, I don't think the clan thing is the issue, but somehow like leaving your clan might fix it. So, Bungie, please fix.
So weird.
Please help. Otherwise, I very much enjoy Destiny 2. And I've been talking forever, and Josh hasn't talked a lot. So, Josh, you should probably give us the lowdown on some Nazi killing.
Well, I'll start off with the Evil Within 2 because I've got a lot more to say about the Nazis. You know, I picked up Evil Within 2 as someone who has not played the original Evil Within, so I was kind of worried that I would not quite know what was going on, but from what I'd heard about the first game, that just had enough PC performance issues that I didn't feel like it, so, and I'd heard a lot of good things about it. So I picked it up, and I will say in the opening minutes, there was some stuff that was like, I bet if I played the first game, a lot of this would make sense, but you can still kind of keep along with, like, there is some sort of, you know, as a, I'm blanking on his name right now, the guy from Resident Evil 4, the director, you know, his kind of
Shinji Mikami.
yeah, Shinji Mikami. There's a corporation. They're doing some shady shit. They have kidnapped your daughter and done some shady shit with her, and they fucked up, and you've got to fix it. So, I have really enjoyed that game. I don't play a lot of survival horror. It's been a while, but I felt like there was room in my life for a game like that, and I'd heard plenty about it, so I decided to pick it up, and I have really enjoyed that game so far. I think the story is very interesting. I did read a little bit about the first to kind of get a little more background on this evil corporation and the character you play as in The Evil Within 2, which is the character from the first game.
Do a little wiki dive then.
Yeah, and watched a couple cutscene montages and some synopses. Because apparently, not only do you have to play the first game, but you have to do all the DLC too. Like, all the DLC are important to the story. So I was not about to do that before I played my shiny new video game. So, But yeah, but there are not enough bullets ever.
I mean, when's the last time you played a survival horror game? There's not supposed to be enough bullets, my man.
But like, what if you had more bullets?
Then it's not survival horror. How threatening is a xenomorph? If you
Then
have
it's just
infinite
survival
bullets?
inconvenience.
Even police officers roll around with a magazine in the gun and 2 in their hip. Like, I go up to a dead guy and he's got like 2 bullets on him. I'm like,
because he fired the rest of the monsters.
He had his primary out. He had his Sutton.
God damn it.
Josh, did you try switching to your pistol?
Stop. I hear it's faster than reloading.
I am
We
actually
really,
hearing...
we really need to start recording like faces for this. We really should do that.
We should have done it this episode, honestly. I am messing up.
But yeah, though, the game is good. I like it. I like the story. I like the setting. I haven't had a game that's made my heart race like that in quite some time. There are some truly, truly terrifying and disgusting creatures in that game, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Now I'm gonna talk about Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Yeah. This game is incredible. I am about 4 hours in now.
Yeah.
The game starts with a swift punch in your face, and it just keeps going from there.
Does it keep punching you in the face?
It just keeps punching you in the face.
Sounds like Doom.
Yeah, kinda. More games should take their sequel lessons from Wolfenstein 2. Because this game really just builds off of what was good about the first, and really just ratchets it up. They pretty much start exactly where the first one leaves off.
Okay.
Because minor spoiler, the end of the first game kind of leaves it to believe B.J. Blazkowicz might be done, but J.K. motherfucker is not.
I don't know if that's so much a spoiler when all the marketing material kind of shows B.J. Blazkowicz front and center.
Well, if you haven't played the first one, then it's kind of a spoiler still that things didn't end so great.
Okay,
for our friend BJ. But the thing about this game is it opens up with it doesn't pull any punches. Like, it establishes the villain right away. This lady who is from the first game is gone off the deep end, and she is just straight evil.
Okay, all right.
And
Nazis do that,
Yeah. They also, in the first few sequences, kind of go into some stuff with BJ's past and his racist, homophobic, abusive, terrible father. It's hard to describe how this hardcore action game also has these incredible statements on race, politics, whiteness, in America today, not just to talk about like, hey, the Nazis took over and gave the South to the KKK. Like, really, some of the stuff they're talking about in this game really applies to today about like Trumpism and how,
Trumpism.
white dudes who have failed can never take that responsibility on themselves and always have to blame, those other people, because it couldn't have been me that made shit go bad. Gotta be them damn immigrants. So it's truly incredible to play this game that is, as they say, not political, but really political, that is touching all of this really important stuff in this hyper action game. But the thing about
the Nazis are a political party.
True. But like, if you take the current political climate aside, saying fuck Nazis isn't really a political stance, and there's a way you can play this game where you're not having a conversation about race necessarily. Yeah, you're having the whole like the German, the Nazis think that Jews are bad and people who aren't Aryan, but like, they have commentary on how a lot of their stuff was very subjective and was kind of bullshit, but they also have this
the power to be arbitrary.
Yeah, but and then they also talk about like how at some point you meet up with some folks who would basically equate to the Black Panthers, and that was pretty evident in the marketing. They kind of show that character, but like the interaction between them about like, yeah, we're on the same side, but we're not, because you're kind of using it as an as a thing of convenience. Like, where were you when shit was only kind of bad? Now that shit's really bad, here you are, kind of thing.
So
welcome to the hashtag resistance, baby.
Yeah. It's incredible. I'm having a lot of fun with the gameplay. The shooting feels great. The guns are super fun. The upgrades are great. The enemies are very interesting and diverse. But it also has this incredible... it also goes into, like, BJ's character and his own, like, struggles with things that are happening to him and in his life, and how he feels about the conflict in the future and whatnot. It's tackling a lot, and I'm only 4 hours in. But
so it's not like Doom, where that's a demon, and I can't believe it's not in pieces in front of me. Let me solve this issue.
It is, because, BJ sees a Nazi, and he's like, why haven't I chopped its legs off and then put my hatchet in his throat? But also...
Why is that Nazi alive? I feel a feeling.
Like, inner demons and monologues going on, and the thing about it is, though, it doesn't feel... There's no, at least for me, there's no dissonance in the tone of the cutscenes or the tone of the gameplay. Like, I feel like it makes the transition between that very smoothly, which I would say is a pretty difficult task to complete. And so far, they've done it well. I'm very much enjoying this game,
especially considering the fact that you haven't even unlocked the we're not going to use violence, we're just going to discuss the issues mode.
I haven't unlocked woke mode yet.
I know.
Woke mode. That's a different...
You gotta hear both sides, okay?
See, the difference between the First Amendment of, like, neo-Nazis and Nazis in this game is these ones are actually killing people. That's where you can go ahead and kill them back.
Yeah.
That's when you can shoot and continue to shoot.
It was really weird being in some city in the United States and watching these Nazis talk to these KKK members openly wearing their stuff just about like, stuff, and I'm like,
Oh, I bet it was weird when it happened in the video game too, huh? It's like, oh, I saw that on the news the other day. Oh, wow. Yeah. Man, that sucks.
I met the milkshake Nazi.
I think id Software has this great tone of like well, except for Rage. Let's not talk about Rage. You know what you did, Rage. Of this great tone of, you know what? We're gonna make an enemy for this game that is uncontroversial to kill. Demons from hell. Fucking Nazis! No one's gonna get mad. No parent should get mad.
They'll buckle to all the alt-right buttheads, and then Wolfenstein. Okay, leaked title for Wolfenstein 3: Rise of the Centrists.
Rise of the Centrists. Stop it, Michael. Stop it.
We'll workshop it. Okay, we'll workshop it.
Stop it. There's a big difference between centrists and fucking Nazis killing people.
You gotta hear both sides, okay? Both have ideas. And ideas are the future.
Incredible. I highly recommend it. If you haven't played the first, go play it. It has some pretty good takes itself. It's a really fun game. But this game is even better. And you need done with this recording. I'm going to play more until I'm too exhausted to not stay awake.
I wanted to talk about something real quick real quick, even quicker. Mike, can I have a minute of your time?
Yes.
I beat Nier Automata. I got ending A, and I'm pretty much.
It means you did not beat it. You have to keep going.
I know. I have to get ending G or whatever.
You have to finish B at least, because by the time you finish B, you'll want to get to C.
So here's my problem. I hate the combat in that game so much. I just don't want to play it anymore. It's just not clicking for me. It's like bad Bayonetta.
Wow.
I understand. I understand your argument. I understand it. There's nothing wrong with focusing on elements of the game that are not its strongest elements.
The story's great, and I was loving that. The music is great. The atmosphere is great.
Yes.
The questions that ask about androids and humans and robots and what is the difference between it all and investigating all that is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And so after I beat the game, I went to YouTube and researched it all. Because I was like, I'm done with it. I don't want to play this game anymore. The combat is not interesting.
I will admit that
the same two buttons all over.
I will admit that the actual like combat itself is not like Devil May Cry, level of engaging, third person action combat. But for me, like all those other elements, like the music, the story, the side stories, like that's kind of. Those are kind of the elements that kept me going, and and honestly, even though this is gonna sound dumb, but I know a lot of people really bounced off the part where you play as, oh my god, I can't remember which one's which. 9S. I really enjoyed I know his mechanics. I know a lot of people did not, but I really enjoyed how you are hacking into people and it turns into a twin stick shooter.
That's kind of fun.
I thought that and then the music changes. I really enjoyed that.
The game is. I wanted to like this game so much, but I'm in this weird dilemma where I want to like a game, but I'm in the Star Fox Zero dilemma. But it's not that bad. Where I love everything about Star Fox Zero except playing it. I love everything about Nier Automata except the combat. It's fine. It's serviceable. It's just. So plain and uninteresting.
It's very it's very utilitarian in that it's there to serve a purpose to
I don't want to play 8 to 20 more hours of that. Was my problem. I was like, all right, I got ending A. I'm bouncing.
I think if this gives you any sort of encouragement, I think out of all the games I've played this year, I think for me, Nier Automata is. If I know we're pretty loose, fast and loose about we're not settling on a single winner for any sort of category for anything, but I think Nier Automata better win some damn like gaming narrative awards.
It's up for Game of the Year narrative. It was in the Golden Joystick Awards, so you can
like
vote on that
it's
if you
just.
want to.
I mean it is so
It's a really
it
good
is so
story.
effective at telling its story in ways that can only be done through games, and it is so much more effective because of that. And I think my favorite moment in any game this year is still in Nier, like the very end of Nier. Like there is, I mean, you've probably heard little bits of what it is, but
I just watched it.
It's for me that moment was like it felt really cool to like make that kind of to make that decision. I thought it was really not something you see every day, and why it was, I think, so effective.
The story is about as deep as Evangelion, and yet it's not as up its own ass. It does have its moments, though.
Yeah,
It has its moments.
like
but,
the side quest philosopher guy. He's up his own ass, but that's the point. So,
But yeah, I get it. But that's my thoughts on Nier. I liked it, but I didn't like it at the same time. I didn't like the video game. If you made a movie of Nier, oh my god, oh dear lord, I'd watch that all day long.
perhaps an anime.
I mean, this thing is ripe for an anime.
It is very much. It is the most anime thing I've.
It is an anime. It's a playable anime.
Yes.
Honestly, I have I don't have any comments actually on the way 2B is dressed and the way 9S is dressed. And no, for anyone curious, as far as I got in the game, they never really addressed like, why are you dressed like Lolita Goth? Yeah, reasons.
I will say the combat gets better when you get to the third chapter, but
See, that's just it. You have to beat the game 3 goddamn times.
it's not the it's chapters. It's not the end of the game. It's a chapter in a
Sorry.
story that spans thousands of years. Never mind. We should talk about the news.
Our favorite game is in trouble. Well, one of my favorite games, and it's been up for many Game of the Years. PUBG. Goddamn, just so much freaking hacking and cheating in that game. So 2 weeks ago,
When you said something was up about my favorite game, I'm like, what are they doing to Peggle? Oh no.
Peggle!
That game is good as hell. Damn.
2 weeks ago, the server had to be shut down from PUBG because it was reported there was one cheater for every single match on the server. And they are banning an
That's
average.
bad. That's not very good.
No! And it's not just like regular cheating, it is aim hack, speed hack, health hack, see-through wall hacks. You know, just everything you fear that people are doing in the game is just happening. And Blue Hole Entertainment confirmed it's a fucking Chinese server. It's they're like leaning into it. They're like, we're banning 20,000 people a day.
Whoa.
That is insane. And they're still going at it, and they're saying it's mostly the Chinese server. Yeah, there's some Europeans, Americans, Russians
Well,
here and there. Mostly the Chinese server.
The kind of funny thing is, like, I think they talked about this on Waypoint Radio, but the thing that's is like, well, people like get cheating accounts and then play their games and get like 40 kills in like 100 player match, which is hilarious. And then like, and just to get like loot boxes to get really rare items that they can sell for like $500 a pop.
Yeah.
And so it like all kind of spirals back to the like how you're like the unintended effects of like having a marketplace in your like competitive game. Like,
yeah,
it's very
it's
very
somewhat
interesting.
incentivizes people to try and cheat to get this thing that will give them money and that they can, sell their account for or turn into other things. So, it gives people a reason to cheat other than just the lulz.
Yeah. It makes me sad, and it's actually kept me off of PUBG for the past 3 weeks, because That's the last thing I want to do. Play a video game where there is a very high likelihood that someone is aim hacking or someone is speed. Have you seen the videos of the speed hack? If I ever hop into a match of PUBG and I see like multiple people speed hacking towards me, running like the Flash.
You know what? Okay, my one rule for speed hacking is if you're blasting like Live and Learn from Sonic Adventure 2, then by all means speed hack away my beautiful child. Just do it.
Live and learn. They speed hack and punch you and then kill you.
That game's not good.
Like the actual Flash. They just run around the map and then punch you and then you're dead. Can they run on water? That's a good question I have for the speed hack. Do they? Anyways, I don't know. But that would make me uninstall the
That's
game
the
and
web
never go
speed
back to
hack.
it. You know what's bad about that? Also, like really bad. They're about to go release in less than like a month or two. They promised a release before 2018, and I love the game. And I think the person, I forget his real name, Player Unknown, has a great idea, but man, you've got a long way to go when you're banning that many people just messing up everyone's game.
And like, I mean, I haven't played too much of it, but I'm really excited to see them like kind of roll out things like new maps and like hurdling and like more movement stuff. But I do kind of wish that they would. I don't know if it's just the engine, but it just feels like the optimization is still not quite is like it feels like that there's some work to be done there. And certainly like if you're in such a matchmaking rank that you're going to be running into a lot of cheaters, like I don't know how that game is built and whether or not if there's something they can do to like definitively like solve the cheating problem, but that's something that if people can't get into a game where they feel like they're getting a fair shake, they're going to leave your game, or it's going to give them one more reason to jump to an alternative when that presents itself. So it's a problem that PUBG needs to look at soon and fix.
Yeah,
yesterday.
They need to stop adding features, and I think I said this like 4 months ago after I played with you guys a couple of matches. I love this game. I love everything it's doing, and honestly, if I was voting for Game of the Year, this is near the top of the list. But
near the top.
I mean, I can't say what my Game of the Year is. You know that. I can't officially say.
I'll just say this. Quote, near, comma, the top, unquote.
Okay. Yeah, you got me.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. Near is your Game of the Year. There it is. We're all done. Let's go home. We're all good. Okay.
But they need to stop adding features, and they've got so much infrastructure that needs to be addressed. Like, you were right. The game is more optimized than it was. It's not perfect. The cheating needs to be addressed. The very simple features like the game not randomly crashing. There was a match I was in where I was in the top 12. I had 5 kills to my name, and I'm running along. I got the blue tag behind me. I'm like, this is it. I'm getting some chicken dinner tonight. It's gonna be tasty. Game crash. Just right then and there. I'm like, I checked my computer. Nothing else was wrong. I had nothing else open in the background. Not even Google Chrome. It was just me and PUBG, and it just nuked itself off. And then I quickly logged out, logged back in, and I'm dead. I died to the blue. It's like, it's gone.
I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but Ray, you got to get good.
That's fair.
If you hadn't been in the blue when the game crashed,
I wasn't in the blue. I was fine, and then the game crashed for no reason. You know what the best part of the game crashing is? When you hit the button to send the crash report, that crashes too. That's like the biggest kick in the dick.
Well, to cheer us up, I have some somewhat dystopian game news to share with you guys. How do you feel about that?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
well, the first one is that EA of video game publishing fame. Wait, what?
I've heard of them.
Has decided to close the Visceral Studio, Visceral Games, well known for Dead Space mainly, was their kind of most recent, or I guess their most well-known series. I think they worked on Battlefield Hardline, and they were in works on some sort of Star Wars AAA single-player story-based adventure type game. And I know it's kind of funny that like we talked to. I mean, people went chicken little over this, saying like, "Oh, single player games are dead." But we've talked about games like Wolfenstein and Mario. Well, Mario's meant to sell systems, so it's different. But it's, I think more than like EA put out this really bizarre statement too. I don't have the text in front of me, but like normally, like when you shift,
they said they were gonna pivot because they were checking the marketplace and they weren't satisfied with the direction that the game was going, so they're pivoting into a new direction.
We couldn't
on how
shoehorn
this
enough
game, should
microtransactions
look and
into it,
feel.
so we're doing something else so we can now.
yeah,
I mean,
it's like
Josh is
the rule of giving people the rule of giving the world and or people bad news is to make it done as quick as possible. And when you put out a statement that's like, we needed to pivot to the games as a service like model that the consumers clearly enjoy. It's like, no, don't say that. Just say like, we thank this team for their work and they're bringing them onto other EA projects. We'll have more news for you coming soon. Just like, I don't know, but it's kind of interesting. Like, I think it's kind of weird that like, It just more than I think like a retrospective on like single player games. It's kind of a like, what is EA? I mean, they have like FIFA, they have Madden,
Yeah.
they have Battlefield,
Battlefront.
they have Battlefront.
Hey, Battlefield 1 is good, but I associate that more with DICE than I do EA. I guess. I don't know.
So and a lot of and since this news first broke, there's been some subsequent reporting that said that this game was really kind of in the weeds. It wasn't EA, like it may not have been so black and white as EA just being the bad guy here and like destroying something innocent and beautiful. Like it sounds like there's been a lot of tensions within the studio and people coming and leaving the project and and lots of murmurs about it not being on track for quite a long time. So I don't know if it's just like the curse of Star Wars and, if you are on board a Star Wars project, you will eventually get fired and or canceled because that happens in the movies all the time. But it was just interesting kind of news. I think the big thing it means for single player games is that like just people need to remember that mainly to not panic, because, bless you. I mean, because you still have things like Doom 2016 that are. It's just you just have to make the right single player game. It's like even if people didn't latch on to like Dishonored 2 or Prey, they did latch on. They really like Doom.
You look at
Mario,
Friday. We
Zelda.
had 3 huge AAA single player
Assassin's Creed
games come out. So, yeah, I think
anyone that says like single player games are dead has not.
I mean, they're the same people who said like, oh, PC gaming is dead because the Xbox 360 is happening. It's like, what?
There are also
the
people
fuck?
who said
No.
that the big first person story, the big first party story, was dead 5 years ago. Like, the death knell of the first player, the single player story has been sounding for a decade now because games are getting too expensive and nobody wants to buy them and nobody wants to play them and everybody wants to just play Call of Duty and Madden, so like that's it. And
I mean, I have opinions I can only share off the record on like games being expensive and like what is the true cost of creating a video game and what is the value of like microtransactions, and we've talked about that I think at length. But obviously EA, as I think Mike and Josh have shared many times, has shareholders. They have to answer to those shareholders, and their shareholders don't want some of the money; they want a lot of the money.
Yes.
And when you compare it, say what we will about microtransactions in games and 95% of people won't buy microtransactions. But those 5%, they will buy, and they will buy in large quantities.
Yes. And so, and this is kind of, and just as a sidebar, like I want to mention that like first party single player games like Horizon and Mario, I think certainly they're not going away. I mean, they kind of have an objectively different purpose because they're meant to drive interest in the console itself. So they'll always be a little bit different from like a true third party style like studio like Activision or EA making a game. But certainly I think those aren't going to be going away because that's how the big guys get you to buy their console in the first place. But what you were saying, Ray, kind of partails into another story, which just is kind of like it's part dystopian, but part also really clever. So earlier this month, Activision was granted a patent this this month for a system it uses to convince people in multiplayer games to purchase items like through microtransactions. And basically, okay, so this was Activision's statement. Basically, what Activision did here is that they had their R&D team developed some like systems for multiplayer games.
Roger, explain how it works.
Yeah, so basically what it does is it bases the matchmaking of a multiplayer game to encourage sales of microtransactions. So, and there's a lot of, and that's kind of the big picture concept, but there's a lot of ways that can play out. So, for example, it might be, there's kind of the one side of like encouraging where it can put you in games with a lot of people who have spent a lot of money on microtransactions. So they are likely going to have a better game than you, like on this Excel spreadsheet here, which might drive you to become a investor in microtransactions. And then like on the flip side of that, it might be like kind of a retention kind of angle where if you buy something, even if it's just like a weapon, I mean, it's kind of a placebo almost because even if it's just like a skin and has no like actual damage bonus or anything, they might match you into games with people who are below your like level, like not like you couldn't tell visually or perceptively, but they'll put you in games where you are on the higher end of the skill tier.
Yeah.
To put you in a better game, and like in the back of your head, make you feel better about that purchase.
Yes.
Which is fucking wild. Like that is so
don't forget
crazy.
That after you play a couple matches, according to the patent, they would then place your identification back up into a higher MMR with people that are of a higher skill than you, but also monetized. So now they have the special weapon or item, and you're looking at it like, well, they're doing better than me now. Maybe I need to monetize a little harder. And all right. I realize I'm in the industry, and I hold my tongue by most things. But on this thing, I will say, this is scummy. And it made me feel dirty reading that.
When this kind of got big, like it was first, the scoop was kind of first published by Rolling Stone. And when Activision was like, "Oh, we didn't put this in any game," but honestly, like
thought.
That's the kind of thing is like, how would we really know? I mean, if it's like matchmaking, it's like, oh well, we want to focus on putting people in the best matches, which explains why you had an imbalanced match. But like, it's kind of wild. I mean, it's annoying how clever it is.
Bungie PR had to come out and said none of that's in Destiny 2.
Yeah,
please
like
don't accuse Destiny 2.
Yeah, so it's kind of wild, and it kind of shows how like, I mean, even like, I like Overwatch. I love Overwatch. It's really fun, and I really and I enjoy the cosmetics in it, but like. It even goes to show how like just cosmetic style of transactions and add-ons can have a pretty deep impact on the game itself too, because if you buy boxes and then you jump into a match and you're getting put a bunch up, in a softball match, then I mean, like, that's crazy. I mean, it's I guess that, I mean, like I said, they patented it, and they say they haven't implemented it, but the well's kind of poisoned, like. Even just for things
look at the matchmaking for a game and just believe it. There's always going to be that kind of like
an Activision game at the least.
Yeah, but what if they are just doing that?
So this I was talking with some people about this. This is that fear that people have in the video game industry of like, what if there's I love using this term. What if there's late capitalism and microtransactions in video games? What would that actually look like? This is it. This is what that looks like.
No, and the thing is, like, I mean, because not to go like too off the rails here, but that's gonna be like the weird shit that is like, obviously around like the election and social media and what kind of information is in social media, and like the integrity of, and like how if you put your phone like on the table next to a TV playing a French movie and then check Facebook, you get French ads.
Is that true?
Yeah. It like because it has access to microphones.
Yeah, there's
Fuck.
circling around.
I
didn't know that.
So like what?
The Facebook app having access to your microphone and hearing you say things in conversations, and then serving you up ads for things you're talking about pretty soon after you've said them.
Yeah, like that's so.
I've seen
so
that with
the
like
weird.
my Google Chrome search.
So like I mean, so what if it's not even just like, hey, you bought X, you bought a loot box, like what? I mean, okay, here's where I go off the deep end. So when AI gets really real and starts curating like, oh, Josh really likes shotguns, but he doesn't have the super fancy shotgun that we want him to buy. So we're going to put him in design, like curate matches for him that will put him in situations where he wish he had that shotgun.
That is
and
gross.
It would be able to calculate that and make that happen. Like
that is
when those like it like as long as they have the power for it, like just the raw computing for it, like they could get really intricate with things like that. Like, or if they knew if in Overwatch, for example, like if they matched me up against, like in competitive, I was like platinum, but like if they started to sneak like diamond level Zenyatas who happen to have like a bunch of like skins I don't have, then I'd be like, maybe I need to like, I don't know, like maybe they're doing something that I'm not, like to get me to spend money or like.
You know, it's bordering on like, and I'm gonna say it, it's bordering on being a little bit unethical when several PR members of your same company are coming out saying, don't worry, we're not using this. What I'm not hearing is the word yet. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's going to ever be a sure thing. They know that when that patent got out, like, no one likes this. Nobody thinks that this is an okay. You know who thinks it's okay? The people at Activision that want to make way more money. Yeah. And you know what? I'm not against making money. I'm really not.
Yeah.
We're not. Right way to do
we're
it.
not here to take anyone's bread away.
No, there is totally a right way to do it. This is like, you have my $60. Is that no longer enough? Where does it end?
We're only
psychologically
2
assault
steps
me?
away from that legendary 4chan green text. Drink verification can. We're a mere step or two away from that.
Dear God.
But yeah, I mean, because it just kind of, I mean, with things like this, it kind of spins into like, the advertising you get on social media, and then, again, not to get too off topic, but like how that spins into what kind of messages, you specifically, Joshua and or Ray, will be served about, upcoming candidate X on issue Y, and like how fine, like it's kind of this story I think is like a small piece in a much larger kind of weird puzzle that I think society is gonna have to really gonna have to figure out before it gets real whack, because people with enough money and time and desire to make you think a certain way will have are going to be much more able to curate messages to change your mind specifically and tell you exactly what you need to know to make you think exactly the way you want you to think.
Remember when there was content locked on DLC? Disc lock DLC, where you had to like enter in the code or you had to buy it, but it was already on the disc. You just didn't have access to it. Like, it was done content, but they weren't letting you ever have it until you paid money or until the servers went down or whatever the hell. And remember how that went away because the masses said, yeah, this is dumb. Can you stop doing this? I think and hope that this is what we're looking at. Full price games with just microtransactions that visibly affect gameplay, and they're trying to psychologically burn you into spending more than the $60 you already paid for the game. I think this is that, because there's enough building outcry against it. Like, you don't hear people like dunking on like Mario Odyssey for in-game microtransactions because it doesn't have any. People are like, yay, it's a fun game, and it'll probably be rewarded for that. You don't hear people like dunking on like Mario. The two recent examples I have, Mario plus Rabbids, is because there is no in-game microtransactions not yet for it. Yeah, there's some amiibo stuff, but that's wholly ignored. And they even give you, like, if you bought the game within the last, I don't know, but the game I came with like weapons that, in my opinion, kind of make the beginning parts of the game a little bit too easy. The pixel pack, yeah, I think that's a little unfair, but it was free, so who cares? What you hear about is like Shadow of Mordor getting just dunked on because it has DLC.
Man, don't even like
in the game.
We didn't even talk about Shadow of War, but parts of that game make me. It's like there are loot boxes, but there's people with culture inside of them. Wow, it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, but orcs are evil. Fuck them.
But they have culture now. It's weird. Just wake me up when the next Shadow of War game is an orc starting his own revolution. Okay, then I'll be interested. That sounds pretty cool.
Orcs are evil. Fuck them. I said it. And you also hear about Destiny's shaders.
You want the shadow of Gavorka.
What the fuck is Gavorka?
It's Che Guevara, but with...
Just tell me,
Oh, Che Guevara! I get... Jeez, that's such a dad joke.
Well, the game starts when your orc father, Coral Marx, is slain by Saruman. Also, they make you work weekends.
So what we're saying is we're gonna have
I would play the hell out of this game.
Lotariat uprising.
Yeah, see,
you're just trying so hard.
See, that's the Shadow of War game I want to play instead of this like white elf supremacist yelling at you inside your skull, telling you to shame people.
The game I've watched
glowing
plenty
their
of clips
face
of
with
it.
energy.
That guy, no one in this game in Shadow of War is a good guy. No one is a good guy in this game. So, I don't know why anyone feels sorry for the orcs, because one, the orcs want to kill all
no. Actually,
humans.
it has to be either that or Shadow of Tom Bombadil.
Who the fuck is Tom Bombadil?
Exactly.
Wow.
Wait, he's not even that far. Never mind.
My my Tolkien cred has slipped, hasn't it?
It's okay. I'm not on the authority to give out Tolkien cred. I know if we do talk about Narnia books, I will fight to the death for A Horse and His Boy. It's the Nier Automata of the Narnia books and is underrated and is actually very good. So fight me.
I'm not going to fight you. I've only read the first book. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I think is actually the third book, so never mind.
The lion is Jesus. That's all you have to remember. So, that's okay.
Clearly. Clearly.
Subtle metaphor.
It's as subtle as a brick to the face. It really is.
With a silencer.
I
on
actually
it,
prefer the Tiger, the Wizard, and the Armoire. That's my favorite book.
And with that, we're gonna ask just any other news, or we're gonna end.
I think.
Let me just do one last check here. I think we got most of the.
We've pretty much gone off the rails here at this point.
So Josh says play Wolfenstein 2. Mike says play Destiny 2.
I guess we I want to wrap this up, but just some of the stuff with NeoGAF.
Oh yeah, that.
Because the basically the head guy at NeoGAF was
a dick.
NeoGAF is a very popular long running gaming forum, back from like the old forumy days, and was basically it was outed. It was revealed.
So basically, during a week or so ago, the whole
hashtag Me Too
was kind of going around social media. And somebody that he knew on her private Facebook page posted her own story. And basically through that, it came to light that he was the perpetrator of the actions that she was talking about. And which then spread around the internet and caused people to kind of go back and look at some other very scumbag, douchey male things that he has done or said in the past. And basically been like, yeah, this guy's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I do want to say like the things that he said he did, hold him to the fire for that.
Yes.
The things that he's being accused of, I want to take the safe bridge and say alleged. I believe the victim, but I don't want to be like to the point where we're like stabbing the guy. Honestly, the guy, when he addressed it, he finally released a statement. Evil Lore, I do believe, is the name of the guy. He didn't necessarily say
he just said she's crazy and that she is not a person that should be believed, and tried to discredit her. The classic, I'm a white male.
That'll
and I'm
settle
trying
things down.
To get everybody off my case because they know what I've done wrong. Like that's classic. That's classic oppressor behavior to just say, oh, she's hysterical, she's crazy, she's a bitch, she's psycho, you can't trust anything she says. Believe me. Who else do we know who says that?
It's not a good way. It's not a good way to make your very believable assault allegations go away, but it is a very good way to blow up your longtime gaming forum, which has pretty much been in. All I know is that I checked Twitter last week, and I was just like, "Whoa, God, what happened?"
Is GAF still up?
I think so, but now they're just keeping it about the games.
It had gone down for a while. Then it was like, then he said, she's crazy, and we're still gonna keep doing things, but we're just gonna focus on the games. No more political stuff anymore, because sexual assault is political.
It's like, yeah,
and games aren't political, but whatever. But yeah. A lot of people have been leaving or doing things,
mass migrations to other
get
sites,
their accounts banned, I think there's a Twitter bot out there that tracks every time like a new thread gets posted on NeoGAF, and the traffic on that has considerably dropped.
I believe it. I mean, once you have like strong allegations to that, and like the addressing of it seemed kind of weak, and then it's found out, hey, you know what? You said some things that are really kind of uncool, my man. You sound like kind of a jerk. Then many people are just like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with this. I'm out. That's my limit. There we go.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. We're out. And I don't blame him. I don't blame any of them, because who wants to be associated with that, you know?
Yeah, and it's, not to be like out headhunting or anything, but it's like, at a certain point, it's just like, at a certain point, are you just, when are you tacitly approving this? It's something I think a lot of people need to think about, and it's something I certainly think about. Like when hashtag Me Too went big and got a lot of attention. I was like, okay, first of all, like this I knew this is something people deal with every day, like especially like in gaming cultures and online. But the first thing the one thing it really did for me was like made me reevaluate like my own behavior. It's like, well, in my head, I'm pretty sure I don't think I have a problem with like saying the wrong things or like putting people in uncomfortable positions. But I checked. I went through. I'm like, okay, let's just think about this just to be sure. And from all of this, like from Weinstein to like NeoGAF, I hope that this is something that just a lot of the general awareness of all of these issues is helping people kind of constructively going forward. I hope people are going through their history with a fine-tooth comb, and if they find that they have made mistakes, not going to race to that person to apologize. You don't need to you don't have the right to go make yourself feel better by talking to that person or anything.
Your responsibility is to fix yourself.
Pledging to yourself to be better and knowing when you messed up.
This is a big one, especially given everything that the subject matter that this is about. A huge thing in gaming culture is to always say oh, I got raped, or oh, this raped me, and that's not really an okay thing to say about getting trucked in a game.
Yeah.
And there are so many other words available, and that's one of those things that I used to use and I personally had to stop using because I was like, that's actually not okay. So I hope that this, even if people haven't actually gone out and committed assault like that, just look at how they, like you said, interact with people.
The language around it is a large part of the the psychology of it, because it's people talk about women being victims of sexual violence like they're in a car crash, or it's something that just it's just an accident. It's not someone. It's the actual perpetrator of said harassment and or violence is often kind of masked in that language, in that it's the invisible hand of the universe.
It's one of those things that just
touching your butt inappropriately.
It's just one of those things that happens, and there's nothing we can do about it, and we just have to deal with
so
the
it's
aftermath.
so definitely I think the easy and a very easy change to make is just watch your language, you son of a bitch.
You could. Yeah.
Be nice to each other. Just follow the golden rule: do unto others as have done unto you.
And just be there for people.
Yeah. I think if everyone just
call out your douchebag, scummy friends when they say shitty things. Yeah. Well, tell them
just don't be friends with them.
Fuck off. That was not acceptable, and then peace out.
I don't know about you guys, but I keep my circle of friends kind of tight because I don't like the.
What does that mean?
You know exactly what that means.
I'm just saying. Maybe Josh should make some. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
All right.
Life is crazy.
Right.
Life is chaos. Be kind.
Josh is right though. If someone's being kind of an asshole next to you, and that is someone that you associate with as a friend, pull them to the side. Tell them, listen, my man or my woman, depends. I don't care. That probably wasn't cool. That's not cool to do around me. That's not cool to do to that person.
And then we dox them. Yes. That's
stop.
what we do.
Please
yes.
stop.
Yes.
Stop,
anchovy pizza.
We dox them.
They're all
yes.
smalls because who buys small pizza?
Oh my gosh, I want pizza now. I'm not even.
Well, maybe
kidding.
you should. Maybe you could just make it at home. But
Oh my gosh!
Make sure you're
I
asking
could
the right
have
person
pizza
to do
while
it.
playing Mario Odyssey. Get some Italian on Italian action. Holy shit! You guys just gave me a great idea. I think I'm gonna treat myself.
So do
to
we
some
need
pizza.
to wrap this up so you can go
On
take
that
care
note.
of your situation?
I need to get Grubhub on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Oh, real quick, really fast. We've been going on for forever. That's what happens when we take weeks to do these
Shit piles
things.
up.
We were covering this in Creed Got Robbed, but I want to cover it here because I want to get the word out because I
Yes.
don't want this thing to fail. Mike, if you listen to Creed Got Robbed a couple weeks ago, me and Mike were talking about what movie was it? It.
Yes.
We were talking about It, and we were talking about Movie Pass that came out at the beginning. I got Movie Pass. I went and saw Blade Runner 2049. Great movie. I am really sad it's bombing at the box office. I am so sad because that is like one of the best sci-fi movies I've seen in a long time.
It's honestly a mirror. I know people are like, "Oh my god, the box office," but like, it's a success that the thing even got made. Like, are you really telling me that a movie like 40 years ago that bombed at the original box office, got a $150 million for a sequel? Like, that in and of itself is a success. And you have a wonderful film that you can treasure forever for it. So,
Yes, and
and
I'm glad
honestly,
it
like,
exists.
you know, daring sci-fi will always there will always be room for that, and there'll always be people making those stories, and you'll always have the ones that have been told before. So, don't fret.
I just hope
don't
it makes
fret,
more
my
money than
children.
Valerian.
I, for one, am also willing to embrace Transformers 2049.
No, stop. You stop it right now. Anyways, so Movie Pass.
Starscream is the bad guy now.
We're not getting paid for Movie Pass endorsements, but I would like to. Call me.
We got ads available.
You guys have. Yeah, we got plenty of ad spots for Movie Pass. $10 a month, and you get unlimited monthly movie access. You just got popped to the theater. I guess I got a little wide NCF thing going on. Yes, you check in. I checked in. I got my ticket, and for $10 a month, I got a $13 ticket. So literally going to the theater once, and I am taking the company of Movie Pass for a ride.
Well,
and I should.
As long as you're okay with him sponging your data.
Crap,
Yep.
they're totally doing that too.
Well, you see,
They're totally doing
you
that.
see, next time you log on to Facebook and you check your ad, it's just gonna be like sales. That's a deep cut
I'm going to check
Blade
Facebook
Runner joke
now,
there.
and
I understand
if
it.
it's crap.
It's a shame Ray wasn't able to live in an ad-free world. But then again,
Okay, I don't have.
who does?
I don't have any ads for Blade Runner yet, but Josh, you should totally get Movie Pass. Is what I'm saying. For $10 a month, it's just the Netflix of movies.
You're just gonna get a bunch of jogging. You're gonna get a bunch of jogging ads, and be like, "What the fuck?" Oh, okay, all right, okay. We should end this
right, I
podcast.
think
This is not.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, I
is
think
bad.
that's it.
So
This is unhealthy.
if you have enjoyed our rambling, which I know you have because you're here at the end of this glorious podcast, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. You like us on Facebook at Unscripted Gaming. You follow us on Twitter at unscript_gaming. If you don't want our videos, you can also get us in your ears at SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, wherever your podcasts are. We are there. Follow us, get us in your earballs, listen to us all the days. I don't know why you're doing this. Please stop. I'm gonna end this pod. No, not you.
I'm just petting my
this
dog.
other
What are you talking
guy.
about?
Thank you for watching Unscripted Gaming. I'm Josh.
No, Mike's going.
I'm Mike.
There we go. I'm Ray, and this
Peace.
is Felix.